With a news update on WHTC Holland's Cool FM, I'm Gary Stevens. Michigan is again under an air quality alert due to Canadian wildfire smoke. The State Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy issued the alert for yesterday and today after most of the Lower Peninsula got a break from the smoke on Saturday. Canadian officials say there are 954 wildfires burning currently, with 138 of them classified as burning out of control. Conditions in this state should improve tomorrow as weather conditions change. As another air quality alert day for the entire state of Michigan is in place for today, attention continues to be focused on the source of the wildfire smoke that has descended upon the state and the region. President Trump said yesterday that Canada could face tariffs or at least a bill because of the wildfires, while 4 members of Michigan's congressional delegation sent a letter last week to Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney expressing their concerns. Canadian officials responded that sending firefighters would be a better response from the U.S. Republican House Representative Tim Walberg of Tipton.
We can't just simply send our firefighters over to Canada willy-nilly to assist, even though we might want to help. Is there a way that there can be better forest management way up where there are very few people? That, I think, is more productive.
It has been 3 straight years that Michigan has had to deal with health hazards caused by smoke from Canadian wildfires. A state law that has been on the books for more than 2 years will be spotlighted on regional roads today. There will be extra patrols of law enforcement officers from various levels on highways in Michigan, Ohio, Kentucky, and Pennsylvania between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. on a one-day high-visibility effort to enforce move-over requirements. This means that vehicles are required to slow down and merge to the left or right when there is an emergency vehicle with flashers on along the road shoulder or median. Allegan County Sheriff Frank Baker admits that there are circumstances when moving over is not possible.
Maybe, if there's a vehicle that's maybe on the side of you, you can't move over. But then it's more important than ever to slow down and then pass safely.
Troopers, deputies, and officers will also be looking for other motoring infractions in this enforcement effort. With early voting sites set to open this coming Saturday ahead of the August 4th statewide primary election, efforts to ensure that mandatory testing of voting machinery are ongoing. Local municipalities must have logic and accuracy testing completed by the end of today, a process that is open to the public, according to Allegan County Clerk Bob Janetsky.
Your clerks only sign off on it after each ballot variation and every possible voting combination have been tested, that the machine can accurately reflect those votes on a ballot. And then the machines are sealed with a state certified seal that those memory cards that are properly tested cannot be touched until after election night.
Michigan law requires the use of paper ballots for every election and for the ballots to be machine counted. Each county clerk selects, purchases, and maintains their own certified election equipment from a qualifying vendor. There are now just 2 Republicans in the party's primary race for governor.
Former Michigan Attorney General Mike Cox dropped out of the race Friday, citing President Trump's endorsement of Congressman John James as the reason. James and businessman Perry Johnson remain in the race ahead of the August 4th primary. The winner will face the Democratic primary winner between Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson and Genesee County Sheriff Chris Swanson in the November election. I'm Michael Arning.
The death of Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility inmate Ashley Hoth has been found to be a suicide. Pathologist Dr. Catherine Morris says the 36-year-old overdosed on aspirin. Hoth was the third of 4 inmates at the prison to die between May 13th and July 2nd. She was taken to a hospital in Ann Arbor after vomiting from eating apple seeds, which turns into cyanide if chewed or crushed. A man is in the Kalamazoo County Jail on charges of assault with intent to murder, carjacking, disarming a police officer, and more after shooting a deputy and stealing a cruiser on Friday morning. Jalen Lipsey is scheduled to be arraigned on the charges today and is being held without bond. Lipsey shot a deputy after a struggle when he was trying to steal items from a vehicle on East AB Avenue west of M43 near Richland. He then led police on a chase through various areas of Kalamazoo County, including through downtown Kalamazoo, before crashing the police prowl car along Lake Street near the sheriff's office. A federal lawsuit filed by a Lloyd Norrix High School freshman claiming Kalamazoo Public Schools did not properly investigate her claim of being sexually assaulted by other students in April of 2023 has been dismissed. The student filed the lawsuit in February, and court records indicate litigation was dismissed in early June. She claimed in a lawsuit that she was the victim of sex and gender-based harassment and assault and battery by a group of students. A man is hospitalized in critical condition after he was hit by a vehicle was trying to cross South Division Avenue to 28th Street in Wyoming on Saturday night. It happened around 10:40 p.m. As the victim was outside of the crosswalk. The driver hit the man, stayed at the scene, did cooperate with authorities, who say they don't believe the driver was speeding or was under any influence at the time of the incident, which remains under investigation. Family and friends of Michael Sadler gathered in Grand Rapids on Sunday to celebrate 10 years after his death in a vehicle crash at the age of 24. Sadler was former Michigan State University punter, was celebrated yesterday at Atwater Brewery. His former coach, Mark D'Antoni, remembers Sadler as the only four-time academic All-American in Spartan history, and it's amazing to him how his legacy has lived on. The family created the Michael Sandler Foundation after his death, helping people build their own legacy through character, leadership, and mentorship. The summer tourism season is in full swing, and for some, that means the summer stress season is also in full swing. A new survey released last week by California-based mental health provider AM/FM indicated that Saugatuck is one of the 150 most stressful tourist towns for locals. Residents queried in that lakeshore community complained about crowded streets, parking areas, beaches, and waterfront spaces, creating persistent irritation, social fatigue, and avoidance of busy areas. Saugatuck Mayor Holly Anderson paints a different picture, though.
I've had a chance to talk with a number of businesses, and they're feeling really positive about, the tourism and momentum and vibe in town, and I think residents are feeling the same way. Even, we're getting folks to use the interurban or public transit system to park in Douglas Elementary School or off-site from downtown Saugatuck. And that's, I think, beginning to work a little bit better.
The national canvassing of over 3,000 local residents had Mackinac Island 26th and Traverse City 121st among the most stressed tourist towns in America. Charleston, South Carolina, topped that list. Yesterday, Jorge Soler's fifth-inning RBI grounder broke a 1-1 tie, and the Los Angeles Angels held on to edge A.J. Hinch's visiting Tigers in Anaheim 3-2.
We didn't have a ton of opportunities, whether it was, executing. We had the one bases loaded where he got out of the jam, but we had a hard time putting things together. On the flip side, we were under stress the entire game. They got a lot of leadoff guys on base, made our guys work a ton. We had to go through a few pitchers, and yet the game was still very winnable and very close. So we just had a hard time piecing things together to get offensively.
Meanwhile, Nico Horner drove in 4 runs, while Shota Monaga scattered 6 hits with 4 strikeouts over 7 shutout innings, as Craig Counsell's Cubs beat the visiting Minnesota Twins 10-1.
I think it starts with Shota today, with seven great innings. Just on the attack, lots of strikes. Split finger was excellent today. Anytime you get 7 innings from your starter, you're in good shape.
Chicago and Detroit meet this evening at Wrigley Field with coverage from Dan Dickerson at 7:40 p.m. on WHTC Holland's Cool FM. Sean Burke and 2 relievers teamed on a 4-hit, 6-strikeout shutout as the White Sox whitewashed John Schneider's Blue Jays in Toronto yesterday 3-0.
Didn't string offense together, obviously. I think they're a good young team. They're playing well, and I think we got to turn around and hurry, find a way to score.
Chicago takes on the Texas Rangers in Arlington this evening. Clayton Campbell and Steven Rutschich combined to drive in 7 runs as the Whitecaps outscored the Great Lakes Loons in Midland yesterday 8-6. West Michigan faces the Chiefs in Peoria tomorrow evening. Get the latest news anytime at WHTC.com.